What's poppin'? Welcome back to the station. Welcome back to the channel. Y'all know what it is. Your boy Ray G. You can find me on X at RayGQ. It's a great day to talk all things NFL draft. That's what we love to do on the channel. That's what I love to do. And this morning, one of the biggest draft analysts, one of the most recognizable draft analysts in the space, Dane Brugler over at The Athletic, dropped his top 100 big board, top 100 prospects in this class. Last week, we took a look at Jordan Reed over at ESPN. His top 50. Dane gave us a top 100. So we're going to talk through the players, who he's got ranked high, who he's too low on, and some players that we've been all over this entire draft process. Mock drafts, Panthers fans crying about Jalen Walker. Stop mocking Jalen Walker to us in Carolina. We're going to talk about that. So we're going to speed through some of the common names at the top, spend some more time with some unique names, some different names that are higher or lower on Dane's board. If you can, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, like the content, and subscribe to the channels. NFL Draft Profiles, NFL Draft Mocks, all types of stuff. And check out the Fantasy Football channel, DDFFB, where they're mock drafting off of mocks we do over here, mocks we review. So if you want the fantasy football content, go to DDFFB. And for all things NFL Draft, stay locked in right here. Top of the board, Travis Hunter, number 1, Abdul Carter, number 2. No shock, nothing surprising there with those two. Those are the top 2 players in this class, and I think they're going to go 1-2 off of the board in the NFL draft here in April. But now things get interesting right at the top. Jalen Walker, edge rusher out of Georgia, is Dane's 3rd overall player, number 3 overall. Jalen Walker, for over a month, I've been mocking consistently inside the top 10. Carolina Panthers at 8, Dallas Cowboys at 12. This is a speed to power player. We just saw the Super Bowl, the Eagles, Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, their ability to generate pressure with 4 men up front. Walker is not a traditional hand-in-the-dirt defensive end. He's a hybrid. He played off-ball linebacker. He played off the edge. But when you're talking about that speed to power transition, I don't know if there's a more powerful edge rusher in this class than Jalen Walker. He's physical. Go look at the game versus the University of Texas against Kelvin Banks, who's projected to be a top 10 pick potentially in this class. Jalen Walker put everything on wax in that game. Incredible talent, incredible player. I'm glad to see him ranked here so high at number 3. This is a big jump. I know a lot of people are going to be excited about this one, and Panthers fans will finally stop bitching and crying when we mock him to Carolina at 8 overall. Jalen Walker, 3 overall on Dane's big board. Moving down, Mason Graham, common player inside the top 10, D-tackle out of Michigan, 4th overall. Ashton Jeanty, 5th overall, running back out of Boise State. I'm seeing more and more mocks with Jeanty, 6 to the Raiders, 10 to the Bears, 12 to the Cowboys is a common pairing, and then later, Pittsburgh, the Minnesota Vikings, I've seen mocks too. If this is the consensus feeling around Ashton Jeanty, and we'll get more information once we hit the combine. I want to see how he tests, how he runs. He's got him at 5'8", 217. That's plenty enough size for the NFL. If he's truly an athletic, an elite athlete at the running back position, he might not be there at 12 for Dallas. He may not go there. I know Raiders fans are like, we don't want a damn running back at 6. There's other teams, the Bears, we don't need a running back. Need versus positional value versus the best player on teams' boards. If this is the true feeling amongst the NFL consensus, I think it's going to be a stretch to think Jeanty's going to fall outside that top 15. Ashton Jeanty, 5th overall. It's got Will Campbell, the big guard tackle out of LSU, going 6th overall. 6'6", 320. I don't know why everybody just assumes he has to play guard. Maybe the arm length. People concerned about the short arms, but Will Campbell, technically sound. I like him. He's going to be a rock-solid offensive lineman at the next level. Ted McMillan, 7th overall, wide receiver out of Arizona. Armand Membu, there goes that guy. 2 mocks ago, had him falling to Kansas City at pick 32. That ain't happening. This is another draft analyst projecting Armand Membu to go high. So let's adjust. Right now in these mocks, you're seeing Kelvin Banks consistently. You're seeing Will Campbell consistently. It's time to start to move Armand Membu up the board as well. 8th overall on Brugler's board. Shamar Stewart, saw him up close and personal, got to talk to him at the Senior Bowl, watch him play. Powerful edge defender, can play the run, get after the quarterback. Big riser after the Senior Bowl. Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. And Tyler Warren, top 10, 6'6", 255, physical build, very close to what a lot of people are saying, Rob Gronkowski. He looks just like Rob Gronkowski, plays like him, physical in the blocking game. I had him mock 7th overall to the New England Patriots in my last mock. Pats and Tyler Warren, I guarantee you start to see more mock drafts put those two pairings together, New England and Tyler Warren. Not saying it's going to happen at 4. They had to trade back to get it done in my mock, but Tyler Warren, top 10 player in this class, 1,000% agree with Brugler. So there's your top 10. You've got Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Mason Walker, Jalen Walker, Mason Graham, Ashton Genty, Will Campbell, Tet McMillan, Armand Membu, Shamar Stewart, and Tyler Warren coming in at 10. But check this out. At 11, we got another tight end. The tight end class is stacked. I keep telling y'all, this class is incredible at the tight end position. I think we get a chance to get 3 first-round tight ends come April. Colston Loveland out of Michigan, 11th overall. Mike Green, edge rusher out of Marshall, here at 12. Another player. Carolina at 8, Dallas at 12. Gave Mike Green to the San Francisco 49ers at 11 a couple of mocks ago. Powerful, physical, fast, speed-to-power transition. You're going to see a lot of NFL teams prioritize the defensive front, and this is a great class to need defensive linemen. Think about it. We're 12 picks in, and of the top 12, 5 of these guys are defensive linemen, 6 defensive linemen inside the top 12. It's going down this draft class. If your team is in need of an edge rusher, you are in a good spot this year. Will Johnson, cornerback out of Michigan, 13th overall. Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia, 14th overall. And there goes the first quarterback, Cam Ward out of Miami, 15th overall on Dane's top 100. Mykel Williams, edge rusher out of Georgia here at 16. Josh Simmons, the tackle from Ohio State, injured tackle, returning from injury, 17th overall on the board. Tyler Booker, guard, 18th overall. Booker's been an interesting pick and player. I've mocked him as high as 18 to the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks fans hated that. We'll never take a guard that high. And he's also fallen to the second round. I've seen a wide range of pick location for Tyler Booker, but it's probably time to start to ramp him up as a first-round pick, at least based on this information today. Tyler Booker, 18th overall. Derek Harmon, another guy. Last mock, he fell to Kansas City at the back of the second. Dane says he's 19th overall, so another defensive lineman inside the top 20. Wow. And then at 20, Luther Burden III, slot wide receiver out of Missouri, 5'11", 210. I don't think Luther Burden is that big, so I'll be interested to know where Dane got those measurables from. He's a slot, dynamic playmaker, great yak ability, probably does not profile as a boundary receiver. You don't want to play on the outside. Don't fit a round peg into a square hole. Let Luther Burden do the things that makes him successful, which is operate out of the slot, get him the ball, let him do damage after the catch. So there goes the top 20 out of his top 100. At 21, we got another edge rusher, James Pierce out of Tennessee, 6'4", 245 at 21. Kelvin Banks, O-tackle out of Texas. Interesting that Brugler's got Banks as offensive line O-tackle 3 in this class. He's got Josh Simmons as well as Armand Membu and Will Campbell. So tackle 4. A lot of these mocks, he's coming off the board as the second tackle, hell, sometimes the first tackle. Brugler's got him 4th behind Membu, behind Will Campbell, and behind Josh Simmons. Jaheed Campbell, the linebacker out of Alabama, another pick where he's gone in the first round in mocks, and I've seen him in the middle of the second round. So Jaheed Campbell getting some steam, edge rusher, linebacker out of Alabama, and they've got a great history of having linebackers be successful at the next level. Emeka Egbuka, one of my favorite wide receivers in this class, my wide receiver 2 in this class if you take Travis Hunter out of the position, but he comes in at number 24 out of Ohio State. And our second quarterback, and I know that Dane is not a big fan of Shedeur Sanders, but can't keep him outside that top 30. Cannot do that because he's probably going to be a first-round pick. Quarterback that comes off the board early, accurate, decision maker, 6'1", 198. Again, I don't know where these measurables are coming from, but Sanders ain't no 198. I can tell you that right now. He is not 198 pounds, but clocking in at the 25th overall player on his board. Kenneth Grant, Big D tackle out of Michigan, 26th. Matthew Golden, fast rising receiver out of Texas, clocking in at 27. Nick Emanwari, I've mocked him inside the first round. Denver fans hated it. Buffalo fans hated it. 28th overall, 6'3", 225. This is a big physical safety that can play ball hawk in the secondary. He's going to be a nice pick for a team. Walter Nolan, one of my personal favorites on the defensive front, 6'3", 300, clocking in at 29th overall. And Donovan Ezaraku, my frat brother, shout out to the bros, man. Donovan Ezaraku, edge rusher out of Boston College, 30th overall. Not great against the run, but you talk about somebody that can scream off the edge and cause hell for opposing offensive tackles. Ezaraku can get that done. Josh Connerly, O-tackle out of Oregon, clocks in at 31. And Siobhan Revel Jr., the 6'2", 200-pound cornerback out of East Carolina. He comes in at 32. Revel is recovering from an ACL tear, but he is a first-round caliber cornerback if all the medicals check out. At 33, Talik Williams, defensive tackle out of Ohio State. Credible college football playoff run. I really like him as an interior defensive tackle, coming in at 33 overall. Donovan Jackson, O-tackle, another one of those tackles, had to step in with Simmons being hurt, and a lot of people think he can kick into the inside, 6'4", 320, coming in at 34. Caleb Johnson, we've got our second running back off of the board, and if you have not seen a prospect profile video on Caleb Johnson, I dropped one early in this process on the channel. I'll link it right above. He is an incredible physical running back. His play style, when I watch him play, I compared him to former Dallas Cowboys running back DeMarco Murray. Caleb Johnson out of Iowa, 35th overall on the board, second running back for Dane Brugler, followed by Omarion Hampton. These two are always back-to-back. O. Hampton, 6', 220, out of North Carolina. These are both true juniors, so they're declaring because they are damn good. Omarion Hampton is that. This running back class is loaded. Now, mind you, Ashton Jeanty, 5th overall. Caleb Johnson, Omarion Hampton, back here, 35, 36. Mason Taylor, my God, let's go. Let's go, Dane. Talking to him in Mobile, watching him, his performance, what he did throughout his career at LSU, this is a starting tight end in the NFL. If you miss out on Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland, that's unfortunate. Those are studs. But as is Mason Taylor, 6'5", 250. Dad is a Hall of Fame player in the NFL. Jason Taylor, this kid has got the right mental makeup. Physically, he is put together very well. Love this. Top 40 player, Mason Taylor. I believe he's going to be a rock-solid tight end that a team gets on day two, early on day two. Gray Zabel, another Senior Bowl standout center, 6'5", 316, dominant at the Senior Bowl. Good to see him inside that top 40 right here. Another tight end, Senior Bowl standout, Elijah Arroyo, 6'5", 251. I mocked him the first round of the Kansas City Chiefs in my most recent mock that I dropped post-Super Bowl. Now, Kansas City's got a lot of other needs, so I'm not saying that O-line, defense, cornerback are not positions that they need to upgrade, but tight end is as well. Travis Kelce, he's got less time in, a lot less time than he's got in the game. And if you replace him with this player that some think might be one of the fastest tight ends that we've seen tested the combine, clocked in at 21.8 miles per hour on a touchdown run this year, Elijah Arroyo was big. He's fluid. He's an incredible hands catcher. Join the community. I did a prospect film breakdown on Arroyo over on Patreon, patreon.com/allgas. All types of advanced data that you can't find anywhere. Pass placement charts, his spider graph, EPA per pass, all of that stuff on this tight end. And I'll just say, when you lay him out against Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren, and some of the best tight ends in this class, he not only holds his own, but some of the metrics and the numbers exceed some of the other tight ends. I really like Arroyo. And when you look at the history of Miami tight ends, Shockey, Bubba Franks, Kellen Winslow, the list goes, Greg Olson, the list goes on and on and on of productive Miami tight ends. Arroyo is next in line to be one of those guys. Top 40 player for Brugler. Jahdae Barron, the versatile defensive back out of Texas at 40. JT Tuimalu out of Ohio State at 41. Ezariah Thomas, big physical cornerback out of Florida State, 42. Carson Schlesinger, linebacker out of UCLA, 43. Jack Sawyer, edge rusher from Ohio State at 44. Landon Jackson, another edge out of Arkansas at 45. Xavier Watts, we get a third safety off of the board out of Notre Dame, the All-American, 46, according to Brugler. Alfred Collins, another defensive tackle, physical out of Texas, coming in at 47. He is a very good player. Alfred Collins is a very, very good player. Jaden Higgins, wide receiver out of Iowa State, coming in at 48. So top 50 for Brugler. I personally like Jaden Higgins' teammate, Jalen Noel. A little bit more than I like Higgins, but at 6'4", 217, I can see why a team would prioritize that big body wide receiver. Big Hendo, Travion Henderson, the explosive dynamic playmaker out of Ohio State. RB4 for Brugler, coming in at 49. And Ariante Essery, rounding out the top 50 offensive tackle from Minnesota. Looking through this, trying to find anything that sticks out to me inside this top 50. Arroyo, Mason Taylor, the tight ends, having 4 tight ends inside this top 50. And I can't count how many edge rushers and defensive linemen we've seen inside the top 50. This is just, it's a great class if you're in need of certain positions. And we've highlighted a few of those, but those are his top 50 players. Let's see what he's got. 51, you've got edge rusher Jordan Birch out of Oregon, a player that we have not talked about or discussed yet in any mocks. Jonah Savina, the offensive guard out of Arizona at 52. Nick Scorton, falling quite a bit. He was early in the mocks when people thought Scorton was the true explosive edge, and it turns out that's Shamar Stewart. Scorton, 6'4", 280 pounds, plays on the edge, but probably going to kick inside a little bit at the next level. Maxwell Harrison, if he clocks in a little bigger than 179 at 5'11", his cornerback skills, I could see him rising up the board post-combine. Cornerback out of Kentucky at 54. Ben Morrison, 55, cornerback out of Notre Dame. It's the injury, the hip injury. What do the medicals look like? If all that shit checks out, Ben Morrison will be rising up the board for a lot of people. Shamar Turner, D-tackle out of A&M. How the hell was A&M? So, I mean, you got Shamar Stewart, Shamar Turner. You've got Nick Scorton. This defensive line was loaded. 53 players inside the top 60 from Texas A&M, and another defensive tackle here. Jackson Dart, everyone's favorite quarterback. People trying to elevate him to QB1 or QB2 in this class. He's my quarterback 3, and the same for Dane Brugler. Quite a bit lower than Cam Ward, 15. Shedeur Sanders, 25. You got Jackson Dart here at 57. I've done some mocks with him going in round 1. I think appropriately, like a realistic spot, somewhere early in round 2, I would take a shot on Jackson Dart. But we'll see. We'll see the pro day. You know the pro day throws in the underwear. Will roll out, throw it deep. People go crazy. And next thing you know, he's the 2nd overall pick in the draft. Jackson Dart, 57 overall out of Ole Miss. Jalen Royals. I was really excited to see him in Mobile. 5'11", 210. The size looks good. The tape looked good. But he didn't stand out at all to me. He wasn't a standout player. So I again, would have a couple of receivers ahead of Jalen Royals, but respect Dane's opinion right here. He's been doing this for a long time. Tyler Shuck, the quarterback out of Louisville, coming in at 59 overall. Interesting. Tyler Shuck, redshirt senior. He's like 25 years old, played a lot of college football, very experienced. Again, in Mobile, he didn't stand out to me, but here you go, top 60. TJ Sanders, he comes in at 60, defensive tackle out of South Carolina. Jalen Milroe, quarterback out of Alabama at 61 for Brugler. Jordan James, running back out of Oregon. Interesting to see Jordan James here as the 5th running back, according to Dane Brugler. Not Ollie Gordon, not Dylan Sampson, not Quinshon Judkins. Jordan James at 62. Cam Williams, offensive tackle out of Texas, falling down the board quite a bit at 63. You've got Gunnar Helm, the tight end out of Texas, another tight end inside the top 100. Josiah Stewart, he was a fun watch to see play in Mobile. He is 65th overall, according to Brugler. Marcus Embo, guard out of Purdue at 66. Darius Alexander, another defensive tackle who's been rising post-Mobile, 67, defensive tackle out of Toledo. Big Trey Harris clocking in at 68. Interesting to see Brugler. Harris, this would be probably wide receiver 6 off of Brugler's board. Right now, some people think Harris could be as high as the 3rd receiver off of the board. I mocked him 44 overall to Dallas in my latest mock. Tate Rutledge, the guard out of Georgia, he comes in at 69. And there's Quinshon Judkins, running back out of Ohio State at 70. Ashton Gillett, the edge out of Gillette, the edge out of Louisville, 6'3", 275, coming in at 71. And there's my guy, Jalen Noel, out of Iowa State at 72. I would jump Noel up over Jalen Royals and over Jaden Higgins. I think he's that good of a player. Jordan Phillips, D-tackle out of Maryland at 73. Jack Besh, wide receiver out of TCU at 74. I mocked him 49th overall to the Cincinnati Bengals in my most latest mock. Princely Human Milan, edge rusher out of Ole Miss at 75. Big Dayon Walker at 76. Quincy Riley, very impressive in Mobile, cornerback out of Louisville at 77. Omar Norman Lott, 6'2", 295, very active. Very impressed with him down in Mobile as well. Kevin Winston Jr., safety out of Penn State at 79. And Dylan Sampson, running back out of Tennessee, clocking in at 80. Ozzie Trapillo, the offensive tackle out of Boston College, big dude, 6'8", 321 at 81. Harold Fannin Jr., a lot of people excited about Harold Fannin. A lot of people think he's the tight end 3 in this class, and Brugler's got him as like tight end 7. I believe tight end 7 or 8. Fannin is an incredible receiving tight end. The production is unmatched. He's just a lot smaller than these guys. Seeing him in person, even during the practices down in Mobile, they never lined him up as a traditional tight end. He played that H-back / fullback. They had him in the backfield, and he ran a lot of stuff that way. It was Mason Taylor with his hand in the dirt. It was Fidone from Nebraska. It was these other tight ends. It was not Harold Fannin, and I have a hard time seeing at the next level him coming in and doing that. You want him on the move, H-back role. Use him like Jordan Reed out of the Washington Commanders back in the day. Use him like Trey Burton was used in Philadelphia some years ago, that move, flex, H-back tight end, and I think he could find a lot of success at the next level. Jared Wilson, center out of Georgia here at 83. Will Howard, another quarterback inside the top 100. Will Howard, national champ from Ohio State at 84. Danny Stutzman, linebacker from Oklahoma at 85. Jacob Parrish, cornerback, K-State, 86. KK, Kyle Kennard out of South Carolina. Big fan of Kyle Kennard's game. Thought he played well in Mobile. 87th overall. Joshua Farmer, let's go. I actually just tweeted about him yesterday. I was watching some Farmer tape. If you are a team that needs an interior defensive tackle that looks like he loves and enjoys stopping the run, motor, first step quickness, I think he's going to continue to rise. Josh Farmer is a damn player. Very good player. 88th overall on Brugler's board. Tez Johnson, wide receiver out of Oregon, 89. Ahead of Elick Ailmanor, the wide receiver out of Stanford, who skipped the Senior Bowl, coming in at 90. So here go the last 10 players inside his top 100. Got Noel Williams, cornerback out of Cal. And at 92, I'm going to just call him Olu because I don't want to butcher his name. Out the edge rusher out of UCLA at 92. Trey Amos, cornerback out of Ole Miss, 93. Isaiah Bond, wide receiver out of Texas at 94. You've got R.J. Harvey, running back out of UCF at 95. Kobe Bryant, a Shrine Bowl standout at cornerback at 96. Here at 97, Andrew Makuba. This is a very fun safety out of Texas coming in at 97. Terrence Ferguson, another tight end inside the top 100 out of Oregon. Darian Porter, very, very fast defensive back out of Iowa State at 99. And Chris Paul Jr., linebacker from Ole Miss, coming in at 100. Let's go up real quick, and I just want to scroll through some of the positional ranks. So he's got this. Let's go by position and kind of look at the top 5. Let's go cornerbacks real quick. So cornerbacks, we've got Hunter at 1, Will Johnson 2, Siobhan Revel 3, Jade Barron 4, and Ezariah Thomas as his top 5 cornerbacks in this class. Let's go edge rushers, Carter, Walker, Shamar Stewart, 3 inside the top 10. Mike Green and Michael Williams. So you got 5 inside of the top 16 picks, edge rushers in this class. And then you go down the board, James Pierce, Ezaraku, JTT, Jack Sawyer, Landon Jackson, all those edge rushers inside of the top 50 in this class, according to Brugler. Wide receivers, Ted McMillan, Luther Burden, Emeka Egbuka, pretty common. Matthew Golden, common. Higgins at 5, Royals at 6, Trey Harris at 7, Jalen Noel at 8. I would move Noel up ahead of Royals and ahead of Higgins, but wide receiver class, not the strength this year. Running back is interesting. I thought this Genty, Caleb Johnson, Omarion Hampton, the 3 common names at the top, followed by Hendo. Then you got Jordan James, Quinshon Judkins, Dylan Sampson, and R.J. Harvey. So those are the running backs. And no Ollie, no Cam Skattebo inside his top 100. That's a big name that is not here. Cam Skattebo not inside this top 100 for Dane Brugler. Safeties, O-tackle. O-tackle was interesting. We had Will Campbell and Mimbu as the top 2, followed by Josh Simmons. Kelvin Banks at 4, and Josh Connerly is O-tackle 5 in this class. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up there, get y'all in and out in less than 30 minutes. I love it. It's the draft, it's players, it's prospects, it's an inexact science. It's trying to dive into these players' strengths and skill sets and see which fits and which teams best pair with their skill. So this is what we do on this channel. Review Dane Brugler's updated Top 100. Check out his work. A link for this will be in the description. Appreciate y'all pulling up to the channel. It's all draft all the time. We talk ball. Subscribe to the Let's Talk Ball podcast feed. Check out the fantasy football channel, DDFFB, and stay locked in for more 2025 NFL draft prospect profiles and mocks. Thank y'all for being here. Have a great day. I'm out. Peace.